In this painting, we see a family of traveling performers. The father, an acrobat, the mother, and their circus animals. In the woman's arms lies her young son, his head covered in blood. He has died while performing one of their acts. The boy is only 5 or 6 years old, yet he had been part of the show since early childhood. Such was the life of the wandering circus. This heartbreaking painting was created in 1874 by Gustave Doré. Gustave Doré was a French artist, engraver, and illustrator whose imagination forever changed the visual perception of world literature. From an early age, he revealed his genius, publishing his first lithographs at 15 and becoming one of Europe's most renowned artists by 30. His illustrations for Dante's Divine Comedy, Milton's Paradise Lost, Cervantes' Don Quixote, and the Bible are not merely accompanying images, but independent masterpieces that create entire worlds of light and darkness. His illustrations of Cervantes' Don Quixote left such an indelible impression on the collective imagination of the public that it forever changed how subsequent artists, stage and film directors would represent the various characters in the book in their medium. Doré's illustrations for the English Bible in 1866 was such great success that it earned him a major exhibition of his work in London, eventually leading to the foundation of his very own Door Gallery. Doré transformed pages into epic visions where celestial grandeur coexists with the depths of human suffering. His works radiate dramatic light, sharp contrasts, and monumental figures, as if one were seeing living visions from myth and revelation. Even after more than a century, his style continues to inspire artists, filmmakers, and designers around the world. Once, Gustave Doré witnessed the death of a young boy in a circus with his own eyes. The incident left a deep mark on him and inspired the creation of 2 versions of the Acrobats, painted nearly 20 years apart. One version is earthly, while the other is infernal. Both depict the tragedy of a family of circus performers. The parents, both acrobats, involved their 5-year-old son in their acts, where he performed dangerous stunts such as tightrope walking. This was a common practice among traveling troupes of the time, who sought to attract audiences with daring and risky performances. But one tragic accident, when the child fell and fatally struck his head, ended everything. The dying boy, pale and weak from his wound, clings to his mother. The performance that caused his fall remains off-screen, beyond the frame. Perhaps the boy was helping his father balance on the rope when he fell. There is no movement in the painting, yet pain and despair are palpable. Around them lie objects symbolizing their trade: a tambourine, a trumpet, juggling balls. 2 dogs and an owl, also part of the show, share the scene. Everyone, people and animals alike, seems frozen in shock. The painting is vivid and colorful, like the life of a circus itself, but the child's white body stands out. Doré paints him as an angel. The innocent boy, dressed in light tones, contrasts sharply with the dark surroundings and the richly colored costumes of his parents. The white wall, the child's pallor, and the red blood create a haunting color tension. In the distance, other performers and onlookers watch silently, their spectacle halted by grief. The mother holds her dying child close, eyes shut, perhaps praying. She appears dark-skinned, likely a gypsy woman, and may have worked as a fortune teller in the circus. The father, on the left, sits hunched in despair, his face frozen in horror and guilt, on the verge of tears. We know the child will not survive, thanks to 2 symbols. First, the owl, a traditional emblem of death. Beloved by Albrecht Dürer and Hieronymus Bosch, owls often appear in vanitas paintings, a Baroque genre reminding viewers of life's transience, alongside skulls, hourglasses, and extinguished candles. The tradition of owl prophecies is an exclusively Christian one, rooted in the principle that night is darkness. To hear an owl's cry is to hear the song of death drawing near. Hence the gaze. The owl does not look at the dying person. Its eyes are fixed on death itself, approaching the family. Second, at the mother's feet lies a spread of playing cards, a fortune teller's layout. In its center, the Ace of Spades, the card of death. Did she foresee her son's fate? Is that why her face shows such boundless despair? The infernal version of the painting is often mistakenly thought to be a later reinterpretation, but in fact it is the original. It is starker, lonelier, and more symbolic, an apotheosis of Doré's romanticism. In it, the everyday details disappear. There are no props, no costumes, no circus paraphernalia. These things have no meaning in the realm of eternity. The figures themselves appear altered, stripped to their spiritual essence. The father's figure is darkened, his eyes hollow. Some scholars see in him a demonic presence, a symbol of greed and guilt. The mother and child form the emotional and spiritual center of both works. Doré portrays not only physical tragedy, but also the inner torment of the parents, their shock as they realize their own complicity. In his notes, he described these parents as hardened beings, almost beasts, earning their living through their child, yet finally brought to repentance through unbearable loss. Doré spent much of his life studying art in the Louvre, and the central allegory of the Acrobats is deeply Christian, an echo of Mary holding the dying Christ. Yet Doré reverses the image. It is not the Divine Mother bringing her son to life, but a gypsy woman releasing him into death. Doré's own father, Pierre-Louis Doré, died 3 years before the painting was created. The artist, deeply attached to his parents, lived as their devoted guardian. The acrobat father in the painting may be a shadow of his own, a spectral figure, helpless yet present. The life of traveling performers was never easy. Their income depended on the whims of the public, on spectacle, risk, and novelty. Does this justify their use of a child in such perilous acts? Or is it simply one of life's tragedies that no one escapes? This is the question Doré leaves us with, one that we too must ponder as we look upon his work. Gustave Doré's The Acrobats is not just a depiction of grief, it is a social statement, an accusation against a world that exploits innocence for entertainment, where only loss reveals the true cost of human life. Doré showed that behind the dazzling light of the arena, there is always darkness, where applause resounds over broken destinies. If you are moved by stories like this, where paintings speak louder than words and art becomes a confession, subscribe to the channel. Here, we explore those who painted pain, hope, and eternity with their brushes. Many more mysteries still lie hidden beneath the layers of paint.